Listen up, because I'm only going to say this once. My name is Ibrahim Traoré, President of Burkina Faso, and I'm here to tell you something that's been burning in my heart and in the hearts of millions across Africa. We are done staying silent. We are done bowing down. We are done letting foreign powers treat our continent like their playground.
A few days ago, a message surfaced. It claimed that Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's prime minister, warned African leaders to fall in line or face punishment. Whether he said it or not didn't matter, the threat was clear. But President Traoré had a message of his own. His words weren't just for Netanyahu. They were for anyone who thinks Africa is theirs to bully. Africa is not someone's colony. Its people are not pawns. They are sovereign and ready to fight for their freedom. In Ouagadougou, the capital, the president faced a packed room. Cameras rolled, journalists waited, and the whole nation held its breath. He didn't use a script. He didn't need one. When truth speaks, it comes straight from the heart. Looking straight into the camera, he spoke boldly. He reminded the world that African nations are no longer colonies. Anyone who believes they can threaten Africa into submission is making a big mistake. The room fell silent as his words sank in. But he didn't stop there. He made it crystal clear. Burkina Faso does not answer to Tel Aviv, nor to Washington, nor to any power that thinks it can buy or bomb them into obedience. Those words were not just about one country. They were for every nation that has ever tried to control Africa, steal its resources, or silence its people. He warned, if you threaten one of us, you threaten all of us. Africa will not be intimidated. Why did he choose to speak so openly? Why not stay quiet like so many leaders before him? Because that's not who he is, and that's not what Burkina Faso stands for anymore. For too long, Africa has been treated as a place where powerful countries do as they please. They have taken gold, diamonds, oil, drawn lines on maps that split people apart, deciding how they should live. Even after independence, they kept meddling with money, soldiers, or threats to keep Africa in check. But that time is over. The people are done with it. The continent is done with it. When he heard about Netanyahu's so-called warning, it was more than an insult to one leader. It was an insult to every African who dreams of a free, united continent. Silence is what foreign powers expect. They want Africans to bow their heads and whisper, "Yes, sir." But this leader refuses to do that. He stands for his people's dignity and future. And he's not alone. After his speech, something amazing happened. His words spread like wildfire. People shared his message on every platform: X, Telegram, WhatsApp. Within hours, millions had seen it, not just in Burkina Faso, but across the continent. Young people in Mali, farmers in Niger, students in Guinea, activists in South Africa, they all heard him and felt the same hope and anger in their own hearts. In Mali, Colonel Assimi Goïta shared the speech. In Guinea, Mamadi Doumbouya declared his support. Hashtags like Africa will not bow and We stand with Traoré became a rallying cry. This wasn't just a slogan, it was proof that Africa is waking up. They're no longer just separate countries, they are a family. If one is threatened, all stand together. For Traoré, sovereignty is more than a word in books. It means deciding who comes into their land, who takes their resources, and who they partner with. It means standing tall and saying, "This is our home. We decide what happens here." Foreign powers have treated Africa like a chessboard for too long, moving soldiers, money, and companies wherever they like. But now, the game has changed. In Burkina Faso, they are taking back control. They are rejecting foreign military bases and unfair deals that keep people poor while outsiders get rich. They are saying no to threats meant to keep them down. And they are not alone. Across the Sahel, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are joining forces. They call it the Sahel Alliance, an agreement to protect each other, stand together, and build a future where Africa calls the shots. People might ask, haven't we heard this before? Sure, but this moment feels different. The world is changing and Africa is changing with it. For years, Africans were told to wait their turn, to follow rules made by others. But now they are writing their own rules. Countries like Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have pushed out France's tight grip. They removed foreign bases and rejected outsiders controlling their economies. And they are not stopping there. When Traoré called out Netanyahu, it was never just about one leader or one country. It was a message to every nation that still sees Africa as a resource bank or a place to threaten with bombs and sanctions. He reminded them that Africa is rising and no one will hold it down anymore. His words were not reckless. They were necessary. They were a reminder to the world. Africa is not here just to survive. It is here to thrive, to build, and to lead. Israel's silence after the speech said it all. They were not ready for a leader to stand up and speak the truth. The Western media barely covered it because it doesn't fit their story of Africa as weak and divided. But every time someone shares the speech, every time a hashtag spreads, that old story gets rewritten. He never set out to be a symbol, just a man fighting for his people. But now, messages pour in from young and old, mothers and fathers, all across Africa. They call him a voice for the continent, a symbol of defiance. Seeing him stand up to powerful nations gives them hope that they don't have to live in fear. He does not do this for fame. He does it because he believes in Africa's strength, history, and future. He believes in the dreams of ancestors who fought for freedom, and in the youth ready to build an Africa that no longer begs for scraps, but sits at the table as equals. The Sahel Alliance is just the beginning. One day, he dreams all of Africa will stand as one, north, south, east, and west united. To any leader who still thinks they can control Africa, your time is over. Africa is not your backyard, your ATM, or your punching bag. Anyone who tries to threaten, bribe, or scare its people is in for a surprise. Africa is waking up, remembering its history and its power. It is the child of kings, queens, warriors, and builders, and it is ready to fight for its future. To every African brother and sister, this is your moment. Do not fear. Do not let anyone say you cannot do this. Stand up, speak out, and demand your rights. Support leaders who fight for you, not for outsiders. Together, a strong, proud, and free Africa is possible. Some say his words are too bold, too risky, that he's picking a fight he cannot win. But staying silent is the real danger. Letting others walk over Africa is the true risk. Traoré spoke because he believes in his people's right to live free and shape their own future. If that makes him uncomfortable, so be it. He is not here to please those who disrespect Africa. He is here to fight for what is right.